And I want to dive into the next one, Bridget, about your childhood story, reflecting why you do what you do today, which is one of my personal favorites.
Yeah, I was thinking about this. It always brings me back to the fact that my parents are entrepreneurs.
Oh, wow.
Like, this is just how my family thinks. And it's always really interesting when my husband, is around my family. Like, we'll spend a family dinner thinking about a new business. Like, that's just a normal thing. So it's no surprise that I am the person that I am today, doing multiple things, having multiple businesses as well, and always coming up with new ideas because that was my family growing up. So my dad has had multiple businesses. My mom has been a part of multiple businesses. Creativity in the mind was just like the most natural thing growing up. And, my challenge, just like you said before, is when the people are like, yeah, but aren't you okay with just like this? And I'm like, yeah, but there's so many opportunities in this world. And I think we make the world a better place through, creating businesses and innovating things. So I think it's a beautiful thing. So the childhood story is just bringing it back to the kitchen table as a kid where we're having dinner and we're literally talking about businesses that we can create. And then that directly informs just the person that I am today. Wild creativity, always thinking of something new. And business is like the most exciting thing for me to think about and talk about. So like I'm listening to all the podcasts. This is the conversations I love to have with friends. And, I saw your question before we started and I was like, this isn't a profound story, but it is why I am the person I am today, just my family.
And so it was really normalized, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
You didn't think anything different.
No. I actually was thinking back to the time, like, when have I actually worked normal hours or had someone else telling me what to do? It was really only during college internships where I worked for startup companies, like for incubators, which makes perfect sense also. It was like VC incubator companies, and then working at Yelp. And then from there, I quit and just went off on my own anyway. So yeah, this was the norm. And my husband comes from a family where everyone has a 9-to-5 job. And it's really beautiful to see both. I think it's a nice balance because I do, with entrepreneurship, there's uncertainty, there's risk, there's challenges it's a roller coaster at times. So I do appreciate now having both perspectives, in my life with my husband and his family and my parents.
That's super unique. And I hope the same for my kids, if I have more kids, and for my daughter right now, that she has said to me sounds like a lot of similar things to what you're saying, because she's always seen me as an entrepreneur. I started my first official LLC when she was a baby. So growing up, she came to meetings with me, met clients, was on the iPad while I met clients on the side of us, listened, was, I guess, kind of half listening to the conversation. Had to make conversation with clients sometimes, was at speaking events when I was speaking, watching me speak. And it's just part of her life. It's so normalized that now that she's in her mid-teens, she's starting to think, well, I think part of it, she was kind of rebelling a little bit in her earlier teens. And she would say, well, I'm just going to work a 9-to-5 because I've seen you have ups and downs, which is part of entrepreneurship. And I'd be like, yeah, it's true. You're right. It's part of it. And I've learned to manage that stress better than probably I did when she was really little, because that was my first company and it was really difficult to not always be thinking about that. And I had to learn to be more present, with her and kind of compartmentalize, like, that will work out. I know everything works out. I need to put that to the side and focus on her being, 1 years old right now, or 1.5, and playing with her and enjoying the time. But at this point, and she's thinking about college, she's thinking about what she wants to do. She's like, you know what? I actually can't imagine going into the office. She's starting to and then put the pieces together.
And sometimes we need the experience to know what works for us, right? Like, I'm glad I had more corporate experience as well, because I think it also helped develop my business mind. And I'm also happy that I don't necessarily need to report to anyone or show up at an office in New York City 5 days a week and have a 3-hour commute.
Some people do that where you live. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's like normal.
That's
so a lot of
normal. Wow.
They work in New York City and then they live in New Jersey, or they live in either north of New York City in New York State or in Connecticut. So that's like the tri-state area, and we tend to have a lot of people working in the city.
That is a long commute.
Oh yeah, not interested.